If you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and become part of this community. Oh, and also, go cop that fresh merch and listen to my new album in the description. The listening parties are here again. We just had a listening party for Donda 2, or at least privately because this one wasn't public, but today I wanted to cover everything that happened on Tuesday, February 8th, concerning this release party with a lot of, very famous people attending there, and we know a lot more about Donda 2, about the features on there, and about what's it all about, and if it's actually dropping on February 22nd, that Tuesday. So let's jump straight into this and see what's happening. So, as you might have seen on social media and everywhere, we got a release party or a listening party for Kanye's new album Donda 2 yesterday on Tuesday 8th. This was a private listening party, but, of course a couple of pictures got out there and people were talking about this, and this picture right here is what got everybody's attention. Kanye even reposted this on his own Instagram account. This is originally from Our Generation Music, and we can see that in this picture, we can see Kanye with the mask on. Apparently, that's still a thing for him. We can see Young Lean. Apparently, he's going to be on Donda 2, which is kind of weird, but I like to see that. Kanye working with different people. We can see Baby Keem in the background. Apparently, Baby Keem's going to be on there again. Love that. Travis Scott. That's also what Digital Nas already said about Donda 2, that he worked together with Travis, especially also in the beat selection and stuff like that. So he's going to be on there. And then also on the right, Drake. Now, Drake apparently is going to be on Donda 2. That is big news because the first Donda was, of course, dropped 6 days before Drake dropped CLB, and it was the whole debate of what was the better album and all that. So this is big that Drake and Kanye are finally good again. They also did their Free Larry Hoover concert together. So it seems like they're on good, terms again, and now Drake is also going to be featured on Donda 2, and I feel like that's huge. That's something that people have, of course, going to be excited about. So the funny thing is that this just came out of nowhere. We also got a couple of other pictures. We know, for example, also that Future is going to play a role on this album because he's executive producing it, probably bringing a lot of that trap influence on here as well. We also seen Kanye in the studio with A$AP Rocky, for example, or Moneybagg Yo and members of the Wu-Tang Clan, so those people will likely be featured on there again. Apparently it seems like it's going to be a heavy feature album again, just like the first Donda was, with a feature on almost every track on there. But I thought the features were used very well and wise on the first Donda, so I don't think that's a problem on the second one neither. Those featured artists weren't the only guests that were at this listening party. This all happened at Nobu in Malibu, so a pretty high profile place to have this at. We also saw Kendall Jenner, for example, attending the event, so it seems like this was a pretty big thing again, and Kanye kind of like secretly invited everybody, and then a couple of pictures leaked out of there, but this does confirm at least a little bit more. We're not 100% sure yet, but that Donda 2 is actually dropping on February 22nd. As you might have seen earlier when I showed that post, Ye also put that in the caption of this new post that only came out like a couple of hours ago, where he said Donda 2, February 2nd, 2022. Apparently that date has some kind of astrology background. I've read that from a couple of you guys in the comments down below. So he got to drop it that day, or it wouldn't even make sense in his mind to drop it that day. So Donda 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2 with the whole date, attached to it. That's kind of where this whole thing is going. But this does seem to at least give us a little bit more of confirmation that this album is actually going to drop that day, which is always great because with Kanye, you never know. Now, also a funny thing that a lot of, people reported on is that Kanye also invited this Kim Kardashian lookalike. Apparently, she's an Instagram model called Chaney Jones, and people are saying like, yo, Kanye is now replacing Kim and all that. I don't think it's that deep. I just think that she was invited as well, maybe to stir up some controversy by looking just like Kim, but I don't think there's any deeper meaning to this other than, people now trying to interpret everything. But it is I get it that it's kind of suspicious that he invited someone like her, who's obviously going to be connected to Kim Kardashian afterwards. So yeah, that's that. Also, I forgot to mention Offset and French Montana also stopped by. So it was a very star-studded list right there. I think it's only a matter of time until we get some, actual footage from those listening events. I mean, in terms of, music, if we're actually going to hear some music from them. Also, this could pave the way for, coming release parties, just like we had with the first Donda. We had 4 listening parties. He rented out the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta and then also in Chicago. Had these very expensive and extensive sets on there and really tried to make that a really big thing. So it seems like he's trying to go that route again by having these parties and events in anticipation for the record. And if you look at the calendar, it's only about 2 weeks, or less than 2 weeks now actually, until we're getting this album. And so by him now already, doing these release parties, we might get a couple of more in the coming week and the next couple of days. And that will give us more and more information on Donda 2 with, leaks that are coming out, with people that are talking about the stuff that they've heard at those events, with maybe covers and track lists and just art connected to it. And if all of that happens, I'll be sure to keep y'all updated on it, so stay subscribed for all the news on Donda 2 by Kanye. And I honestly expect some more news to come out within the next couple of hours or even days, now that the first, wall is kind of broken down about him opening up about it actually dropping that day, and the date not just being out there on its own and we're not really sure if we're going to get it, but by him actually holding a release party and inviting all these important people to it, and also then doubling down on the release date by putting that in the caption again and having it everywhere. I think that it's pretty sure that at least he's going to try to drop it that day, and it's not like completely out of this world to actually drop that day, because that's what a lot of people thought already. I made a poll on my YouTube community post where a majority of you guys said, I think like 2/3 said that he was not going to drop it the day that he announced on February 22nd. Now that day is obviously still a Tuesday, so kind of weird to drop it that day, but Kanye dropped the first Donda on a Sunday, which made even less sense. I mean, that made no sense at all. Probably some connection to church and service, but this time it's a Tuesday. Just keep on going with these unconventional and orthodox release dates, but it seems to be dropping that day, which is great that we now have that confirmation and that security as well. So Kanye held a release listening party for Donda 2 last night at Nobu in Malibu. A lot of important people came out there: Drake, Baby Keem, Travis, Kendall, among others, who we now know might be featured on this new album as well. They listened to the album. We don't actually have any leaks yet. If you could probably go search on YouTube and all that over the next couple of days. We're probably going to get some more footage from there. But as soon as we learn more about this thing, which I think is going to be especially in the coming week, I'll be sure to keep y'all updated always on the newest stuff related to Donda 2, so stay subscribed. But yeah, that's the newest information we got. He invited a Kim Kardashian lookalike model from Instagram. He had all these important people at his event, and we might be getting it actually on the 22nd, which is very exciting. So that's my thoughts on this, my opinions, my theories. Now I want to know what you think about this. Are you excited for Kanye's new album, Donda 2? Do you actually think it's going to be dropping on the 22nd? What do you think about this release party that we had last night with all these people in here? What do you think about Drake being featured on there? That's kind of interesting. All of that, let me know in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and y'all take care.